So this is.
Do you want me to record it?
Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and record it.
All right. And I've never recorded before, but we'll see whether this works.
Is that okay with you, Tanya? Cool. Yes. Are we recording?
We are recording.
All right. Well, this is going to be really bad. This is going to be a introduction to ProgCode's GitHub repo from somebody who knows almost nothing about GitHub. So strap on for this, I'm sure. I look forward to making a much better version of this soon. So anyways, this is GitHub, the place where developers go to share and collaborate on open source software, which is a very, very large part of what we and many of the applications are doing here at ProgCode, and it's a very important thing. But it's also a place that non-coders like the four of us on the call and many other in the community, and really a pivotal part. We have a ton of developers here, but we definitely need the non-coders to sort of to help just really drive so many other things. And so it's also important that the non-coders understand the language that the developers use, that we're speaking one language, that we're using common tools and on the same platform. So as part of our winter strategy, Readme proposed, and we're looking at using GitHub as a place to organize the operational and functional work that we're doing, using it as a place to enable people to pilot, hey, I have this new idea for this new application or this new way of doing things, or this change, or this way that we could just improve the way that we're doing work. And using this as a place to really empower people to say, hey, here's where you go to find everything going on in ProgCode. Here is where you go to understand what there is to do. And obviously Slack is the chaos, and then this is the output of the chaos. This is the, okay, here's what we're doing now. And with time, we'll get better at, like, meetings like that, we'll get better at taking specific actions and creating issues for them, and using GitHub as a place where we'll collaborate on them and push them through. And then something else will come, and something else will come, and something else will come, and so on. Feel free to jump in at any point with any questions along the way, but I'll just take us through a quick tour. So this is GitHub. This is where it all starts, and you'll probably get sent to a place that looks like this. I don't know my terminology, so I'm not going to try, and I'm sure anybody with just a shred of a developmental acumen is probably just will cringe at the entire video here, so it sucks for them, I guess. So anyways, this is the ProgCode. I don't know if this is the repo or the individual parts of this are the repo. So yes, the individual parts are the repos. So these are the different repositories. So basically, this is the ProgCode top-level structure. It includes, of course, our website, how to contact, but it also includes the top-level projects or things that we're working on within ProgCode. And then within that, there's a hierarchy of basically the hierarchy of cascading top-level group projects, tasks, and so forth. So here are some other things, projects. I think our robot is based in here somewhere, maybe in the website. But for our purposes, we will be focused on functions with just began. So the activity here just ticked. Although I think past year they're going by 365 days, not calendar. So stars are how you, I think watching allows you to see what's going on there. Stars just says, hey, this is pretty cool. This is a good one. I approve of it, and probably shows up in other places. So anyways, in pretty much any GitHub repo, you will have a Readme, which will have a level of information of what's going on. I believe you can edit everything very easily in general, as long as you've been invited. It uses this language known as Markdown language, which I definitely don't know at all yet, but it just is things like you can use triple stars or double stars or some amount of stars to bold stuff and italics and list. But the application, when you edit it, generally has what the specific stuff will be. So the key point there is that it's very customizable throughout. So within functions, so the README will generally have a little bit more information. It's definitely everywhere here is an area to improve and beef up along the way. And then there will generally be all the other different files associated with the project directly in this area. So the couple of things that we'll specifically be interested in are issues, projects, and wiki for our purpose. So issues just gives you this really nice solid list of all of the different issues, things to work on, whatever. We'll sort of get a better format of do we track meetings? I'm sure if there's actions for the meetings, and those are things to track. But we just, a lot of things to figure out. But basically, this is where we want to track all work. We can organize it by a label. So you can see, hey, what are all the just operational stuff going on, or what are things that are active versus inactive, is working on what. So if you have a new action item generally from a meeting, what we'll do is we'll create a new issue. You give a title, and you just give a, hey, we should do, reach out to nonprofit organizations and get feedback on whether bundle kind is feasible, something like that. And then what you would do is, this is where the new issue begins, and you would have I guess we can assign things to people, so that's useful, so you know what you're actually working on and what hasn't worked on yet. So we'll look at a one that this Dave one has some good comments. So Dave had this idea that he posted of, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had a network diagram of everything going on? We're like, yeah, it sounds cool. Sure, really small, but here's just come back. You get the idea. So this is just his first take of it. Send him some feedback of different things recommended to change, and started in Slack of, hey, we have this idea what would be useful for people to just better understand how things work together and what goes on. And so that led to more brainstorming, another idea which he'll be posting and pitch to him. But anyway, this is the issue, and the idea is that we discuss things in Slack, but then we move them over to here when they're active. And so he just asked for feedback over here. I made this comment of, hey, here's some thoughts. I think this should change here, this should change here. You can look at it after. We don't need to drill into everything. And then I can look at, then he posted something else of just another way of looking at it. But basically this just tracks the work history, and here's where I would leave a comment, and you can use the handy dandy checklist, which automatically adds the markdown language, whatever the command is, and then shows up the checklist shows up like this. It's nice. It's very it has that sort of those Trello and Kanban board factors directly into it. So another way that we can look at all the issues is within different projects, and I would think that we'll probably have a number of different projects as things get too large for this individual board. But the very first board that we have is looking at, we wanted to provide one place where everybody would have an understanding of what's going on, how to reach out to and work with people, who the coordinators are for a different thing, who are the just main points of people to find information from, the wiki of whatever the key product information is, and then whatever the active tasks are, the active issues. And I haven't figured out how to assign an issue to a project yet, so I can't show you that one. But as somebody added them. Well, I don't think it was me, but they're here. Either way, so the different, now they show up of operations versus operations and so on, so we can see what different sort of just key activities there are, who is working on them. I think Desmond, it looks like you're assigned to something, so good work, Stephen. But the idea here is it has just all the different projects, and then you're able to look at what the different details are, collaborate with people as we did with that Dave one, come back. And the last thing that we'll look at is this Wikipedia. I haven't figured out this graphs and pulses. Pull request has something to do with how you merge the code in. I haven't gotten there yet either. But the wiki is another place where you can just set up whatever different pages. So Rafi set up a couple for the different functional teams, and these are just initial kind of blah blah whatever this is, describing what the functional role is and what some of the key activities are. And this was all just made up 4 months ago and shouldn't be it's open for change. And then speaking of change, the last thing that I want to show is the change process and other processes that we will document in here. So I wrote this one this morning on my phone, and then I edited a bunch of times and did not get it right of a couple issues. But basically, I wanted to drop it. It was like, hey, we should know how people actually make changes and what it means. So I put together, here's the overview of what this is and the introduction for how changes are made and what it changes. Basically, it changes anything that impacts the organization. Hey, let's do this new thing. Let's make this work happen. Let's have this do this, whatever. And how people get started. And then what should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step process is a 1-1. But what's that? All right, we first define the change by describing what functional area it is and what benefit and what the plan is. And see, here's a couple instances more of where I haven't figured out markup language quite yet. But just really defining the plan and then proposing the plan in the appropriate functional channel. And then once the community approves and says, yes, it's good. The idea being that there's no one person that says yes or no. It's, does the community think this is right? Does the team think it's right? And so forth. Go ahead and create a GitHub issue in that GitHub repo that we were just at, and then implement, document, and close. And I put down here just like, hey, I wrote this in about a half hour. And so obviously there's a lot of stuff that we need to do here to make this awesome. But then this brings us back to this, and this brings us back to, I think my new issue thing is being covered up by my face over here, but no, I don't see it. It's somewhere. But anyways, that is the quick tour of GitHub. If you want to have any questions about stuff so far, and Steven, I don't know if you want to keep recording or not, maybe go ahead and cut it off, and then we can chat some more.
Cut it off now?
Sure.